Today's video, I am going to be sharing some of the tips that I use to age slowly, have more energy, and to have longevity going into the latter years of my life. I'm 42 now, and what I do today will dictate how my health will be into my 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. Just like when I was a kid and my grandmother told me how I take care of my health now will reflect how my health is in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. Here I am today, and my health as a 42-year-old male is much better than many of the other people my age that I know and do not know. Here are some of my tips I use. Although life can get hard, this is how I work on well-being and living the happiest life I possibly can. And I promise it's not always perfect, as many of us can attest. One of the things that I do is I make sure I eat natural whole foods as much as possible. Even if I'm going to be cooking them, I like to cook them not so hot, keeping a lot of their nutrients. I don't fall for many of the gimmicks and ads and things that society tries to tell us is healthy, which is usually the opposite. I look more towards what God and nature created first and how we evolved over time with this energetic food, with this highly vibrational food that prevents disease, that keeps our energies up, keeps our minds functioning well, and overall just reflects a certain type of glow that others can see, that when you look at some people that look down and out and have a low vibrational frequency of energy to where they look sluggish, tired, and often even miserable, people that have a certain glow from their health and the energetic things they either do or the foods they consume, you can see it quite clearly. That's why some of these people, whether they're models or you just look at them and you can see their auras, a beautiful aura. They don't even have to be sexually appealing, just look beautiful. Like, wow, look at that person's skin, look at that person's complexion, look at that person, they have a glow to them. I also make sure I drink plenty of clean water as much as possible. I'll wake up in the morning. Before I even have coffee, I'll make sure I'll have a little bit of water. Throughout the day, I make sure I get plenty of water, and I get a lot of other of my fluids from fruits and vegetables. I try to consume the least amount of drinks that are bought at the store or sodas and stuff like that. It's not that I don't ever have any of them at all, but I try to consume them as least as possible, sticking to things that are going to help my body naturally hydrate and keep me going. And water is very great for that. Another way to age slowly and have longevity is you got to be active. You got to be doing something that's getting you to push and to pull and to jump and to reach, things that you either do around the house or you go work out at the gym or you're playing a sport or you're out in the garden. Maybe your work is a little bit taxing on activity. You can't just lay in bed or sit at a desk or sit on the couch expecting to have any kind of health for the body. The body is going to wear out really quick. It's going to put on weight. It's going to be less limber. There's going to be less muscle mass, and you're not going to have the foundations of a healthy, thriving, aging body. It's going to be a slowly decaying body. So for better well-being, be active. Another thing that I focus on, many of the blue zones in the world, the places that have citizens that live to be 100, the centurions that have the highest population of them, they make sure their portions that when they do eat, when they're eating healthy food already, they're making sure that they are monitoring the amount that they're eating, portion control. Some of them even have it to where they only eat up to about 80% to full. They don't gorge themselves and stuff themselves and just watch their belly line buckle grow and grow and grow. They make sure that their stomach and gut never get to a point where it's being overworked, taxing the body, aging it quickly, and then you end up at 55 years old in a wheelchair or an amputee or any of those things that happen 30, 40 years before they ever should, if at all. Also, having a healthy environment in general, it could either be in your home, your room, even going outside. Your environment's crucial on your health and longevity because the air you breathe and even the noises you hear, the sounds you hear, play a part in the degradation of the body. Also, the people that we choose to surround ourselves with, they're going to have an impact on us as well. They're either going to be filling our minds with crap, putting bad moods into us, making us see the world through a lens that isn't exactly a good, conducive lens to living a long, happy, well-being, and fulfilled life. And it doesn't just have to be the people that are around you, although that could be a part of it, family, friends, acquaintances, but also society at large, whether it's through social media, commercials, all of these things that are presented to us are playing parts on our subconscious mind, making us think we have to be certain ways, and if we're not going to be happy. So we're chasing things that we may never even attain, chasing things that we may not even be, but not feeling good about ourselves for not being what someone else says we should be. Be you. There's no one else like you. That's going to help you be happy. That's going to help you be fulfilled. That's going to help you have great well-being. And by having those, you tend to live longer. The opposite has you miserable, depressed, and not feeling very good about yourself. Another thing that will help living longer and aging well is your emotional intelligence. A lot of the time we think about the importance of just being smart and then that dictating how our life turns out, but our emotional intelligence plays a much huger part because you could be the smartest person in the world, but you can't control your shit. You're going to lose it easily, and you're going to be taking one step forward, 2 steps back until you find yourself not such in the greatest place you would want to have been in your younger years. And that can often lead to aging of the body, such as someone who smokes a bunch of cigarettes because they had an emotionally bad day, had to go to the happy hour bar because they had some bad thing happen and they can't handle it emotionally, so they're going to go drink it away. You can't solve your problems at the bottom of a six-pack. And also having good, positive self-talk based in reality, not in delusion, is a good way to age proper so that you, as you age, you feel like you're going somewhere, growing, becoming better. And the only way you can do that is if you have good dialogue within yourself. If you say negative things about yourself, put yourself down, and not uplift yourself, because sometimes you got to be your own best friend, encourage yourself. It's going to be very hard to even want to live to be very long when you're not feeling very good. Also, one thing I'm big on is getting plenty of rest and sleep. Going to bed at the right time, getting up at the right time, getting a good amount of rest, night in and night out, is definitely going to help you regenerate your cells and feel good and look good and live a lot longer as you age. That's why they call it beauty sleep. Also, you're going to want to focus on any of the bad habit things you got going on. We all have them. I'm definitely notorious for it myself. And when I find that I'm doing something for too long that's not in my best interest, I scale back either completely or as much as I possibly can. And it's something to think about. You already know what your few things are. Instead of going cold turkey quitting, maybe just limit it a little bit here and there until you're possibly not doing it anymore. But the longer you do one of these bad habits, the harder it's going to break. And as you age, the quicker it's going to break you. I also make sure that I manage my free time as best as I can. During your free times when you're going to get the most out of being healthy, whether it's going to the gym or just learning about how to be healthier in general, what you should eat, what you should do, and then going out and doing it. If you're just going to be distracted watching television and letting social media and ads and commercials brainwash you into going and buying and drinking and eating the things they want you to be doing so that they get rich, you stay poor and miss out on health and aging proper, you want to control a lot of that stuff. Don't allow someone else to program your brain, because they will program it quite insane. So what you do on your free time is very important. And the last thing I'd like to talk about, there's a whole bunch of other ways to age proper, and I want to hear any of your guys' takes on anything that I missed out, some things that you guys do. Not so much that you heard, I want to hear what you actually do, because that's where the meat and the potatoes is at, is fulfilling and living your life's purpose. We all are here for a purpose. It isn't just to work long hours to make other people filthy rich while we are poor, paycheck to paycheck, and miserable. That's not, I don't think anyone was born for that. So figure out your purpose, your why you're here. And then by doing that, you're adding value to society. And as you grow, you're able to want to be around longer, do more, and keep that going through a long period of time. That's why a lot of these super agers like a Martha Stewart or someone like that, they're in their 80s and they're still highly productive in their business. They're bringing value to the world. She's brought a lot of value. Yeah, she's really, really rich, but she's also brought value, huge amounts of value. Just not completely taking advantage of people, but actually doing something. And at her age, it's pretty incredible to keep waking up and having that drive to get out there and keep going. She's still thinking about what's the next thing, not being on her deathbed 10 years, 20 years prior to her age now. So you got a task to do, you got fulfillment to live and value to add. So it's something you might want to think about if you haven't really thought much of it. My value to add is about health and well-being, and that's what a lot of my videos are about. Share, subscribe, comment, like. I'll see you guys on the next video.